Don't let poor planning be the roadblock that keeps your mobile clinic stuck in the parking lot. In this video, we'll dive into the top 5 pitfalls that can turn a promising purchase into a costly mistake. Hello, my name is Dan from AVAN Mobility, and I know that buying a mobile clinic can be a daunting task. With so many options, features, and costs to consider, it can be easy to get overwhelmed and make some costly mistakes. At AVAN Mobility, we know choosing the right clinic isn't just about bells and whistles. It's about making sure it's accessible, reliable, and meets all the healthcare standards. We've teamed up with organizations like Pacific Clinics to create effective mobile health solutions that not only help their communities, but it also fits their budget and meets regulations. Along the way, we've learned what works and also what does not work, so we can help you make the right choices that can make or break a mobile health project. We're here to guide you through the process so you can avoid the most common and expensive pitfalls. Now, let's dive into the top 5 pitfalls to avoid when buying a mobile clinic. So pitfall number 1, overcomplicating the build. So avoid overloading your project with too many specialized features. So the reason it can be a mistake to include too many specialized features is you're looking at potentially a lot more issues. So if there's finicky electronics, if there's a generator that's bulky to move around, requires gas, you're just looking at potential breakdowns that will keep that vehicle off of the road. A simpler setup just means there's less to go wrong. Have what you absolutely must have, but don't go above and beyond that. We've spoken to quite a few agencies recently who have experimented with heavily modified RV styles or trailers, and they did a lot of specs. And what they found is that there's a lot of stuff that they don't use, but it might be draining the battery, and so the vehicle can't go out that day. At AVAN, we take a lot of time to figure out what you must have. So we put that in, but we don't put any extras in that could potentially break down and keep the vehicle sitting in the parking lot, a very, very large paperweight. Pitfall number 2, ignoring maintenance costs. We often see agencies focus on getting their vehicle on the road, but they ignore the costs of maintenance associated with keeping it on the road. Something like an RV may cost a lot on fuel, and having a special driver because of the size of it. There's insurance. If you're in an urban center, where are you going to park it? Will it cost you to park it? Especially if it's a larger vehicle. And then one that gets overlooked a lot is a trailer or an RV. Due to the size, they tend to get in a lot of accidents. So whether it's with other vehicles or just with structures, there's a cost of repairing it and the downtime cost while the vehicle's off the road. The benefit of choosing a smaller unit than an RV or a trailer is it impacts the maintenance costs. So no special driver requirements, much easier on fuel, insurance is typically lower, and because of the size, you're less likely to run into things. And another thing with one of these standard build vehicles is finding a dealership for warranty is much, much easier. On to pitfall number 3, overlooking the little details. It's the smallest things that can cause the biggest headaches. And it can be something as simple as, do you have storage for binders? Is it within reach while you're working with someone? Do you need a sink or not need a sink? Another one that came up recently is they'd like to take out 3 staff and they only have 2 seats. Do you need a 3rd seat? Does the fridge need to be just a regular fridge or a vaccination fridge? Do you have enough storage? So all those little things, if you don't address them up front, they can and will come back to bite you later on. If any of these minor aspects are overlooked, it can affect the success of the overall clinic. In using the earlier example, if you need a third person, now you have to bring a second vehicle just to go and do what you need to do. So you can see how that's adding a lot of extra resources and cost to the program, affecting its success. Which brings us now to pitfall number 4, fashion over function. If it looks good, but it's not built for your specific environment, whether that's potholes and speed bumps in an urban environment or gravel, dirt roads in a rural setting, you're likely going to run into costly repairs. So if you envision cabinets that are built for a regular office, they're not designed for movement. As you're bumping down the road, over time, they could come loose, they could misalign. You could have them opening up and the contents falling all over the floor. Also think about heavy duty latches on cabinets. If they're just weak ones, they're not really built for movement again. What if they open? They could be up near the ceiling. Think of what's gonna happen when all the stuff comes out from up near the ceiling. It's gonna be a disaster. By choosing elements purpose-built for movement, you will ensure that your vehicle stays safe, functional, and reliable. Pitfall number 5, choosing the wrong materials. Materials matter more than you may think. So if it's wood, what happens when it gets wet, right? It can expand, it can be compromised. If it's steel, it adds a lot of weight to the vehicle, putting extra stress on the suspension, and you could be getting into regulations where the vehicle is actually too heavy for the size of it. If you choose a cheaper material like plastic, at first it'll look good and it'll save you money up front, but over time it can break, crack, or discolor, and then again you're into costly repairs. By choosing a durable material like aluminum, it gives you more options. So it's structural, it's lightweight, it means you can do more modifications or add more equipment. And a key one here is it's easy to clean. So depending on what happens in a vehicle, sometimes there's the need to wipe down or really deep clean. Aluminum is perfect for that. And those are the top 5 pitfalls to avoid when choosing a mobile clinic. Remember, it's about more than just a vehicle. It's about providing accessible healthcare that lasts. Let's make sure we do it right. To learn more about what you can expect to pay for a mobile clinic, check out the video link below. And remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help.